Hi, I'm Nathan Harris, and I'm here at Porch.com to talk with Dina a little bit about the Porch culture and how their goal to be a partner with every homeowner is looking and what the future of HR looks like as well. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about Porch.
Thanks a lot, Nathan. Porch is about 5 years old now, and we have 500 employees here in the U.S., and our goal is to be a lifetime partner with homeowners. So if you need home repair or if you need ongoing home maintenance, Porch should be your go-to place to provide those sort of services.
That's awesome. And so over the 5 years, this company has evolved. I know you've come onto the team recently. What have you seen, even in your time, just your time here, as a shift in the workforce or the culture? And how does change in leadership kind of impact that?
Great question. So when I think about my time at Porch so far, I've been at Porch since September of last year, so slightly under 6 months. And when I came on board, they were actually in the middle of rolling out their value statements. And so the 5 values that are critical to Porch. And that's actually one of the reasons that I came to Porch, because their number one value is no jerks, no egos. And so working here at Porch means that everyone has an equal voice. Frequently, you'll see our CEO, he doesn't have an office. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even have a desk. And so he finds an open table and he'll sit there and he'll work, and people just come up to him throughout the day. And that's how Matt wants to make sure that we have an environment where everyone can thrive.
That's amazing. So that kind of goes right into our goal with HR Transform and how things are changing in culture. And that's definitely a big one, right? So what do you define as HR transformation? What does that mean to you?
It really means the ability, and my title is actually VP of People. And the reason that it's VP of People is because when we think about what really makes the difference, it is the people of the organization. Recently, we used to be taught, they used to talk about HR and human resources, but it doesn't really get to the heart of the fact that there is a person who's coming to work every day to give their best to your company. And so when I think about transforming our function of human resources or people, what it really means is that we have to be in tune to the changing work habits of our employees that come to us. So if they are thinking more about a gig economy, how do we make sure that we give them an intensive experience immediately so that they feel value? Or if we have employees who are at a different stage of life and what they're thinking about are benefits or long-term career, how do we make sure that we have that kind of experience for them as well?
That's amazing, because with us being in the gig economy space, that is exactly why people feel like they need to leave essentially like a corporate setting, because they want that rapid growth and intensity. Right. It's awesome to see that you identify that. So to shape that perspective and to have that agile mindset, there has to have been some form of advice that you've gotten or something that stuck with you along the way. Is there anything that sticks out that's helped mold your perspective?
Sure. I used to work for Dan Spalding, who actually leads Zillow here in town. And one of Dan's advice was look at every employee as an individual, and then think about how all those individual experiences, how you can scale them up and create almost like a personalized HR experience for people or personalized work experience for people. And so we try to apply that here at Porch, where we think about things that can scale, but then we also think about every individual and how do we create an awesome experience for them.
That's awesome. So with that mindset from the past, now let's look at the future. What do you predict for the future of HR or workforces? Is there something that you see happening and changing that you would kind of call out, like this is what I'm betting on?
Continued customization. Mm-hmm. So, and what that means is that every employee wants to kind of customize what their work experience looks like. And so in some cases, that's how you interact with benefits. So I want to be able to tap on my benefits on my phone when I don't want to have to call the benefits person. Or it means that I want to think about how I design my own career. We talked earlier about the gig economy. And so what that means is that I want to feel like I'm getting a great experience now. I've learned something and I've moved on to another great experience. And so what we need to figure out is how do we create these customized employee experiences for people within our own company so they don't feel like they need to go and leave in order to have like growth or have that kind of customized experience.
That's awesome. So, and then one thing you identified in there to create that customized experience was you went back to technology.
Yes.
So when you think about technologies in the workspace, some that you have today or maybe something that you want to see come into it, what technologies are you using now or do you want to see?
The number one technology I'd like to see is actually something that would help me customize my manager experience. And so when we talk about typically we used to do employee surveys once a year. Now we've gotten to the point where we do them at Porch, we do them twice a year. But I would love to be able to have that ongoing sort of feedback so that my managers could see how happy are the teams, does the team feel like they're landing their goals and their accomplishments, and be able to have that sort of digitized ongoing coaching experience for managers.
That's amazing. So real-time feedback, that's so imperative, especially with the future generations that are coming. They want that feeling of growth. They want that feeling of value because it's something they can rave about, share about, and that's really important. So the last question I have, I guess, is what is the biggest thing that you think needs to change from the old to get us to the new?
Oh, that's a great question. I need to think about that. I would say the thing that needs to change most is probably us as HR professionals. We need to really make sure that when we think about our workforces are changing. And so when we look at millennials, we can't sort of think of them as millennials and we need to treat them like as millennials is a problem. We need to say, wow. Exactly. And people used to say the same thing about baby boomers, the same thing about Gen Xers. Mm-hmm. And so the reality is every generation of people works differently. And so we need to not look at it as a bad thing, but rather look at it as how do we create the right customized experience so that people can come to work and thrive. So really us as professionals need to change a little bit.
That's amazing, and we couldn't agree more. And these are the type of conversations we're having as we go around the country, interviewing HR leaders like Dina about that future, because we want the feedback. We want to share it with you so you can give us your perspective as well. So keep following us along in the HR Transform series. We'll have more exceptional conversations just like this one.